Okay, this is Jim here. I'm back. Second video on this here piston assembly got cut off for anybody that's noticing that. The last bit I said something about this here nylon hammer. You got that? Okay. Give the cap a whack. You're not going to hurt it. End of story. This is my last bearing, my brand new bearing. Okay, so I'm going to put these rings on the piston, hopefully without breaking one, because I really don't want to put a used one on. I've done that before. It happens always on the last one. That's just the way life is, I guess. So we're not going to do that. We're going to put this thing together really simple. Okay, on the oil ring, on a Ford Windsor engine, I know I did not say exactly what it is when I'm putting this together, because I am trying to think about little measurements and stuff like that at the same time, so it's very difficult for me to speak at the same time. I hope you'll be forgiving that for me. Okay, end of story. So on this oil ring, just like the compression rings has either writing or some kind of laser mark or whatever, you want to make sure that that is up. Okay, the ring is split. You can see it. You do not ever want to make sure that those rings, especially on this, I'm not going to get into other engines. Some have locks. Some Ford engines do have a lock. Some Chevy engines have a nylon lock. You want to lock those two together. This does not have that. This is a race piston. This basically expands and contracts under heat. These are forged pistons. It's a very small ring. So, now that you know what's going on, you just want to make sure that that lays right into the oil groove, okay? On this one, they have witness marks all the way around it. So, I'm going to put this on here, just like this. Can you see this? Here we go, see? I'm just going to stick that in the groove. And that's it. Just kind of just let it fall in there. Okay. Now, you have two slinger rings, if you want to call that this. There's usually a shiny edge on some of these. This one doesn't have anything. These are both the same, but the ring is still split. And on the regular oil ring, you have a split. And I'm going to put this right, the split is right here. I'm going to put it on the back side. You never want to put the brake on either ring in the same spot. You never want to do that, because what happens is some people in theory say that you're creating an air block or a passageway for air to escape. Remember, an engine is just a big air pump. So what you want to do is I basically go, 90, 180 back and forth. You want to just keep it four-way around. So if I got one ring split here, I'm going to put the other one here, and vice versa. It doesn't matter. Without dropping this here piston on the ground, I'm just going to stick this baby in here. Of course, it's not cooperating with me. And basically I'm just going to walk this across. And that's it. And I kind of just wiggle it. It's perfect. I'm going to say, now that's the bottom side ring. Again, last ring is first. Here's my top ring. Okay? Where did I put the locating? Okay, I put it over here on this side. So I'm going to put this one over here. Now this goes right on top. This is the third piece of the puzzle on your oil ring. Okay, it goes right in there. It's perfect. Wiggles around. All assembled, give it a nice twist. It's flawless, okay? So now we're gonna take the second ring. The orientation on the second ring, remember, laser dimple, dot, whatever you have, a line, a little witness mark, always again, up and to the left. Especially on these ones, that's what it recommends. So I have a compression, a stretcher this is what breaks rings right here. You got to be really careful. I don't want to break these, so I go really, really slow. It's going to look like I'm going fast. I'm going to try not to, okay? Because this is what happens every time. I always do this. It happens. It's kind of stupid, you know. Damn thing went into the center slot. Okay, there it is. Second ring in the groove. Got it? See it? Now, right now I don't care where this space is. Okay, I'm gonna do the first one. This one's easier. The first one is the last ring, remember? Kind of just go slow, you know? Come on, baby. And I got it. When you here's a big know-how. This is a Craftsman, and this has like a little tiny V spring in it. It takes no pressure whatsoever to move this. You can see my two fingers. Basically, you can feel the tension, or at least I can. I don't know about anybody else, and there's plenty of people out there that do it. You can feel the tension when you stretch a ring. Be very careful, because your hands are very strong. People, I'm sure, I don't know how many people out there have broke this ring because of one of these. It's very easily done. Okay, so that's done. We're gonna take some oil. This is, by the way, this is a assembly. What I use is 10W30. And this is a STP oil treatment. This has zinc in it, okay? It's $3. This is a pretty much, I think there's 85% zinc in this stuff, because I've checked it in. This is always, I use Lucas too for an engine assembly loom, but this one seems to work the best for what it costs. It's $3. This engine will get the rest of this bottle. I buy one bottle for the whole engine build, and whatever's left in this goes into the engine, okay? Because especially on this cam, this is a flat tappet cam, I have to break this in, and as much zinc as I could possibly get in there, I want on it. So this one has the highest zinc content so far, next to you know, pulling zinc out of the ground and dumping it in there. So this one's been refined, this one's clean, it's good, and it's been around for a long time, and that's what I use. So in this oil can squirter, by the way, this is not an old oil squirter. People always assume that I have a lot of old stuff. This is actually only about 19 years old. It's brand new. I bought it brand new from a supply shop, whatever. So in this can, I have a mixture of 10W30 Castrol, okay, and half of one of those in this, so it's extremely thick. So I put that on all of my pistons and basically so we're gonna just do that. Kind of just swab the deck on this, matey. You know what I'm saying? This is not rocket science. Anybody can fucking do this. This is crazy stuff. You know, hey. Oh, and yes, I know how to use a computer for you politicians out there that say, well, they can learn how to use a computer. I know how to use a computer too. But I think you need to be well orientated with other objects of mankind. So I'm just blabbing on. Okay, so that's pretty much oiled. So here we go. Here's this little guy right here. We're gonna take this, stick it over there. I kind of just hold it with my finger about right there, just before the edge of that. Put my key in there. Okay, it's locked. I can't do many more than that. I'm gonna get the oil over here because I don't want to squirt this shit everywhere. So once you have this compression tool set by releasing the clutch, you just put it on the piston, and that's it. So I already have my first bearing in here. It's nice and clean. I've already checked it. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little squirt. Again, for you naysayers out there, don't be just putting oil on those bearings. This has got zinc, okay? This is thick. This is probably thicker than your assembly lube, okay? So in this 10W30 Castrol and the zinc. So I use it as a premium engine assembly lube. I'm pressing down on this extremely hard, okay? So don't think it's not assembly lube, okay? Because the only other thing that's thicker than that is my transmission assembly goo, and I'm not putting that in there because it's just too damn thick. I've tried that before. Okay, so here we go. We're good to go. We're oiled all up. And I'm going to stick this baby in here. I'm going to turn you over here like so. Can you see that? I'm not really sure. I'm going to move this over here like this. So I just kind of laid that in there. This is just a standard dead blow hammer, no big deal. Just going to give it a couple of crisps. Kind of take your time with this. I don't go too heavy. I go really, really slow actually. And I'm not going to nick the crank if that's what you're thinking out there, because I have the crank 180 degrees out, the farthest or lowest point on the rotation. These are short beam rods, so it's still like 2 inches away. So by the time I get this piston rings seated flush with the engine block, I still have to take my hand and center it and then get it down. Okay, see, that's it. End of story. She went right in. So, I'm just going to wipe some of this oil off. Use a liberal amount of assembly oil when you do this. Okay? Alright, so that's good. So I'm going to reach underneath here. I'm going to reach underneath here. Where the hell is it? There it is. I'm guiding the rod down. You can I use some engines use a piece of rubber too or guiders. This you don't need to. This one's fine. As long as you just center it with the crank, you're good to go. That's it. Bottomed out. End of story. Okay. I'm going to rotate the engine now. Okay. Alright. So, you see the back side of that? And that's it. Okay. She's up there. Nice bearing. All the clearance is good. It's nice and tight. Okay, this is a cap. Okay. This is my bearing. Make sure you wipe all the dirt out of the cap. This is pretty simple stuff. Self-explanatory. Lock goes into the orientation of the lock position. That's too much to ingest. There's nothing on this. I'm going to put some assembly stuff on it. Smeared it around a little bit, and this only goes on one way, so I already know that these were pre-assembled. I've checked them all, so I'm just going to put that in here like this. Corresponding number goes on there because the cap's already marked. I'm just going to hold this up a little bit, take my nylon hammer, seat that a little bit, make sure your piston's all the way up. And there's oil on the threads. If you don't have any oil on a brand new bolt or anything, add a little dab of oil on there so they really see. You don't want to gall these threads. These have oil already on them, so we're good to go. Okay, we're going to torque this. On this particular engine, torque specifications is in 2 steps on these rods. Total, the total number you just split in half. That's a pretty simple way to do it. Motors book, 68 motors book, since it's a 74 block, which is all the same. Doesn't matter what style crank, whatever. It says 45 foot-pounds, not foot-inches, foot-pounds. So, total number, I bring it down, I put it to like 40. I tighten them up. I set it to 40, or you could do, you know, whatever, half of that. I just kind of just bring it up until it just touches, because I'm trying to draw the cap and the rod into it. So you don't want to tighten it because you'll tighten one side further than the other. So I just want to bring it up to it until I know it's snug. Okay, it's right there, so it's snug. So now I'm going to torque it to 40 foot-pounds. Right there. Right there. Check them a couple times. Okay. And then I'm going to set it to the total torque, which is 45 foot-pounds. By the way, this is another Craftsman tool. I can't get these anymore. It's all vintage. I bought it brand new, about, you know, 28, 29 years ago. So 45 foot-pounds on a small block Ford. Windsor. I believe it's the same on the 6-cylinders too. And just double check this other one next to it. And that's it. End of story. So there's no guessing on that. Well, you know what? There is always guess. Just double check it. Gotta check your work, you know? I've already checked all these, so alright. So that's good. I'm gonna add a little dab in between I've already done this, but that's okay. I'll just do some. Okay, now I'm going to rotate this some bit. I'm just going to rotate this engine a couple of times and see what happens. Nice and smooth. Watch out for the clearance on these bolts. Perfect. On this engine, it's tight. Perfect. It's good. It's good to go. No clearance issues. That's mint. Okay, I'm gonna wipe some of this oil off. I don't want oil like spinning all over the place, you know. Okay, that's it. I know my job is done because it's perfectly smooth. Let's turn this thing over. Let's see what it looks like. What do you think? It's looking good. It's looking real good. So, yeah, she's tight. But you know what? Again, I'm the one who bored and honed this out. Okay? Those cylinders are perfect. Okay? Absolutely flawless. Every single one. Every single one. Low buck, high performance, small block, Ford, Windsor engine. I'm really ecstatic right now. I'm really happy. You have no idea how happy I am to get this engine put back together. Because again, it was left for dead in a junkyard with 32,000 original miles They left the air cleaner off. It got full of water, tore up 2 cylinders. Basically bored it, honed it, mic'd it. Everything's all good to go. This thing is gonna run like you don't even know. It's too bad it's obsolete. It's just too bad. There's a couple people out there that's running them, but you know, I get an argument. I say, hey, Bell, it's pretty cool, man, but who's going to keep it going when you're gone? Because it's obsolete. That's all I got to say about that. So you have a good day. The V8 Ford small block Windsor engine build. Stuffing the pistons in this thing. Rotating the assembly that I paid $50 for. High compression pistons. Smoothed out crank for higher rev limits. It's a 7 grand. If you watch the videos, you can see that. The next step is I gotta modify my oil sump. I'm gonna get the gaskets on here, get the heads done. I can drop the distributor back in. Everything else is good to go. And get some paint on this thing and put it on the test stand and fire it. So I'm going to do some videos on that, so have a good day. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like it. If you don't like it, comment. Maybe I could change something you don't like, or give you some kind of tidbits on how to do things inexpensive but correct. And I know it's correct because I have other stuff that runs and dries beautifully that I have not done videos because I don't want to, because there's no reason to, because nobody watches the videos. But if you do watch it, this is amazing. Amazing stuff we accomplished. It's this. We accomplished this. When an engine shop with a big name on his building said, it's junk, you can't do nothing, you can't fix it. Well, you know what? That guy went out of business. He's an asshole, and I'm not. Have a good day.